When I became leader of the PNCR and then leader the opposition, our supporters felt abandoned. We had to go out there, engage our supporters, motivate them, and bring them back into the fold, which we did. When I became leader of the PNCR and then leader the opposition, our supporters felt abandoned. We had to go out there, engage our supporters, motivate them, and bring them back into the fold, which we did. When I became leader of the PNCR and then leader the opposition, our supporters felt abandoned. We had to go out there, engage our supporters, motivate them, and bring them back into the fold, which we did.
Folks. It's so happy to have you here tonight. We're going to have a dynamic and exciting program for you. And we are wondering if you had an opportunity to pray for the election period or for the APNU today, Monday. Okay, so welcome, 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 welcome to all of you, both locally and in the diaspora. Now, I want to start off tonight with a familiar piece of scripture. And this is, you can say it along with me. I am like a tree planted by the streams of water that brings forth its fruit in season. Its leaves shall not wither, and whatever I do prospers. Yes. So tonight, as you can see these leaves, they are green and they are beautiful. Maybe someone can tell me what type of leaves are these, right? I wonder if you can guess that. But we are like trees, right? The green tea, it's like a tree planted by the streams of water that brings forth fruit in season. Its leaves shall not what? Wither. And whatsoever we do will prosper in the APNU. All right, welcome again. Let's get started right now with our special and exciting guest in our studio. We will go to a video clip now. When the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. You can find that in Proverbs 29:2. Also, what does Micah 6:8 says? We are to act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with our God. Micah 6:8. Welcome to Mr. Trevon Chichester. He's an elder and also the APNU PR admin. We are also welcoming Pastor Jonathan Noel, and he is a pastor and he's a businessman. Let's hear what they have to say this evening to the first-time voters and to those who are undecided. Also, we will be looking at our bread and butter issues tonight. Here we go. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you this evening?
Good.
Right. Tell us how the campaign has been going.
For me, the campaign is picking up and building up momentum.
Okay.
Doors are being opened for us to speak.
Yes.
To the church, elders, leaders, and pastors.
Yes.
And to the nation as a whole, as much as we can come into contact with.
Right.
And we are making ourselves available to meet those people. We're finding that some were undecided. Some had no knowledge as to what really to do.
Right.
But that is why we are here, because the church and the people at large has lost their footing and their bearing as to what to do.
Right. What can you tell us about being a tree planted by the streams of water? What can you tell us theologically about that verse in Psalms 1?
Well, the Bible indicates from Genesis that when Adam and Eve was chased out from the garden, they were removed from the tree of life. that is speaking of the Creator per se, because He is our life.
Yes.
Right? Because He says He is the light that lighteth every man that come into the world. So therefore, He is that life. He's that tree.
Yes.
Now, in relation to the church, what we need to understand is that if we do not come in harmony with the word, harmonizing ourselves consciously,
Yes.
we would fail.
Good point. Good point. And I believe that Pastor Noel, correct me if I'm wrong, you have a doctorate in philosophy
And theology.
and theology.
Yes.
So we are going to have a great conversation. Trevon, welcome. You're actually based in Region 5.
Yes, I am.
Yes, and you work with the APNU on a daily basis.
Correct.
How are you, Trevon?
I'm doing well.
Okay.
As well as I can be.
Yes, and
Mhm.
to that first-time voter, what would you tell them, basically?
The task ahead is a very important one.
Yes.
And on September 1st, you must get out there, you must cast your ballot. You have finally a say
yes.
in your future,
yes.
but also, most importantly, the future of our country. So take it seriously and get out there and vote. And we hope you vote for APNU.
You're right, right. We do hope. It's really great to have you, Trevon, because you spoke so eloquently at our pastor's meeting, and I recognize that. What can you tell us about being a green tree planted by streams of water? Because there are a lot of green shirts out there.
Well, the thing is that when you look at what a tree requires
yes.
for survival, nutrients,
yes.
among other things, and the waters will provide the minerals and nutrients along with the soil.
Yes.
And most importantly, water is also made up of oxygen.
Yes.
So all of these things help to make the tree flourish.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can speak as a Christian,
yes.
that we ought to be fully rooted and grounded in
yes.
our principles,
so true. So
but
true.
most importantly, in our faith and belief in God. And God calls us to love and to do justice.
Right.
And to be representatives of mercy and of His kingdom. And if we are solid in our belief and in our commitment to Him,
yes.
then we are going to represent Him by ensuring that there is justice in our society.
Very
that
true.
There is mercy
Very
in our
true.
government, that the poor are lifted up,
yes.
among other things.
Yes, yes, excellent, excellent. So viewers, welcome in. If you're joining us, regions 1 to 10, you're joining us. You know, last week we had a really great program, Trevon and Pastor Noel. Very exciting. We had a lot of views, streaming live out there. And we want to make it even bigger tonight and every Monday night. You can join us from 6:30. Hello to my friends, whether you be in the diaspora, the UK, Canada, wherever it is that you're joining us, right? I put out that first question already, my leaves. What kind of tree do you think that is? Guys, do we have anyone that's telling us about that, the type of tree so far? We will check the comments, but thank you for joining, everyone. So let's get started on slide number 2 in terms of what do we have for you tonight? What is it that we will be discussing? I know Trevon and Pastor Noel, the manifesto is so rich in terms of education, and then we're going to be looking at some aspects of job creation.
Yes.
So I figure we will continue on that tonight. So yes, we are waiting for our cue in terms of, yes, thank you so much. So the APNU, of course, we are people-centered, and we want to look at how many campuses will be built around the nation. We also want to look at the school curricula, your thoughts on that, and you also have it on your phone. And then we will go on to job creation. So let's get started tonight. And before we do, we're going to listen to another video clip of the APNU out there. So many different campaigns are going on. I believe you're at Tiger Bay tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
And Container City.
Right. Happening right now, guys. Right. So check our program out, and then you can run out to see it if you're close by. But yes, let's look at one of those campaigns out there, and then we'll start with our discussion tonight. One of those would be good.
Education.
To move past that, we have to see the entire curriculum needs to be reworked, and we have to
Very
see,
true.
you know,
Very true.
I look about and I was in the profession before for a couple, just about 12 months or
Okay,
thereabout.
okay.
And one of the things that's when I was just out of secondary school, pretty young.
Yes.
But I still could have recognized some of the challenges there and what needs to be addressed. And one of the things I
Yes.
can say for education is education, it needs to be decentralized
Okay,
to a
good
level at
point.
which you're having quality education
Good point.
in every school. And you don't just have a system in which a few schools have quality service and
Yes.
then the vast majority does not. We have to
Right.
get to a point in which if you leave central Georgetown and you go to a hinterland community
Yes.
with your family, you can receive the same quality of education there as you can in central Georgetown.
Right.
We cannot have a society continuing in which young people are coming out and just passing through the school system.
Got you.
They
Got
have to
you.
come out and they have to be able to be functional in society
Yes.
in whatever field in which they so choose to be.
Yes.
But it's not just about checking off a checkbox and say, oh, well, they completed school. But you
Or we
have
built a school and that's it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And in order to have that, you have to be treating your teachers well. You have to make sure that they are paid well. So
Yes.
they are comfortable in school. You
Mhm.
got to make sure that when they're going to school, they don't have to worry about when they go home, they don't have a meal to put on their children's
Right.
plate and stuff like that. We have got to fix it. It's not just a one-off issue. It's a combination of issues that
Very
have to
true.
be addressed at the same time in order to actually remedy the education issues in Guyana.
Very true. Very true.
One of the things I always have an issue with is when I would see a secondary school, brand new secondary school being
Right.
constructed, and I'm
Okay.
like, where is the recreational facility? Where is this? And
Yeah.
it doesn't exist.
Or even a cafeteria inside.
It doesn't exist.
Right.
Right.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you so much for viewing that little piece with our prime ministerial candidate, guys. And she spoke so eloquently about education.
Yeah.
Let me start with you, Pastor Noel. When it comes to education policy, what is it that you see that's really dynamic coming out of the APNU? First, the theological, and then we'll go to the bread and butter issue.
Okay, first of all, it is not fully tackled in this nation.
Okay.
And I look at it as a plus. Guyana need a broad-based level of education.
Okay.
That's number one. The education that is being offered is in many ways limited because it doesn't speak to the whole and complete man or
Very
person.
true. Very true.
And as the prime ministerial candidate expressed, that she saw a school that was built, but then it doesn't have any play facilities, no facilities for playing,
Yes.
no other developmental aspect that will lend to the growth and the complete maturity of the child, because
Right.
education is not just book and work.
Yes.
It's a combination of the mind, the body, and the spirit. So
Yes.
if you combine these together, you have a complete and a rounded individual, and that is lacking, and that is what APNU is offering.
Yes. So in the three policies we want to look at tonight is the building of university campuses. And yes, we thank our prime ministerial candidate for highlighting the very issues you've said. Also, we want to have an updated curricula, and then upgrading, very, very important across the world, is STEM. Right? That area of science, technology, engineering, arts, which we call STEM or STEAM, right? But we know in our biblical theology, we want to also train people. And it's good to also have that Bible-based method, or just using the principles, right, coming out of the Word of God in terms of how we train. So we can build, but we want to be people centered. Do you agree with that, Trevon?
Absolutely, I do agree. As a matter of fact, my philosophy of education personally
Mm-hmm.
is that it must work to develop the total individual. And the Bible speaks about this as well. So I know that Proverbs said that to get wisdom, and in all of your wisdom get understanding.
Hallelujah. Yes,
Right?
yes.
Correct.
And
Mhm.
so we want individuals who are well rounded. In the past, what we've had is a system that tries only to get our children to get a certificate.
Mhm.
So that's what
It's
we're
true.
primarily concerned
Yeah.
with. One of the things that persists a lot now, even with NGSA, is that prior to the exams, the students will work a lot of past papers
Papers.
Right.
in the event that those questions come again.
Yes.
The same thing happens to CSEC. They work a lot of past papers and
Papers.
hope those questions will come and they will know the answers to put there. And
Right.
so they leave school 5 subjects or 20 subjects, but they can't function in
Function.
society.
Correct.
They don't have any life skills. So they don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to deal with
Yeah,
the problems
problems.
that they are going to be faced with in
Yes.
society,
Exactly.
Yes.
And so we need an educational program that looks to develop the total student, the
Yeah.
total
Right.
child,
Right.
from nursery all the way on to tertiary.
Tertiary.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Building of campuses,
Mhm.
Linden, different regions. How does that strike you guys?
Well, first of all, in order for a nation to develop holistically,
Yes.
you have to have a broad-based system that has antennas throughout the entire 10 regions of the country.
Right.
So having universities and institutions placed in those areas,
Right.
you will capture more persons and is more apt, especially for those that don't have the economic base to come to town. Because long ago, we know that they had to come to town to go to university.
Yes. Good point.
There's
Good
problems
point.
in paying for
Yes.
housing
Right.
and the likes. So having that being established, it would lend to the accessing more individuals being qualified to fill the areas of society and the departments of our nation to elevate people to govern and to put their bit and pieces into developing our country.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so these as Doug was saying, they allow individuals to have more access,
Right.
which is the important thing. Right now, we have the University of Guyana has 2 campuses, Turkine, and then we have the one in Tame.
Yes.
We have Surapada College of Education, which has done some expansion, but that focuses primarily on training teachers.
Yeah.
We have technical institutes in New Amsterdam, in Linden, and a few other places. But the idea is that our nation is growing and it's expanding, and we need institutions that are able to offer our people more options
Right.
that
Yeah.
goes beyond just the level 2 certificate or an associate degree or
Yes.
diploma
Yes.
as the
Good
technical
point.
institutes may be offering.
Good point.
So this is very good. It shows a vision. It shows that we are guided by proper principles to ensure that there is access to quality education
Yes.
all across our country.
Very, very well said. We hope, and for the panelists today, that whatever we are imparting is very helpful for our viewers, particularly the first-time viewer, right? Or you might be undecided, right, at this point. But post some of your questions that you may have. If we don't have the answer here tonight, we will certainly come back with the answer next Monday. I want to ask our administrator of the program if he can play some more of our prime ministerial candidate as she is talking some more on the education policy. Take a listen.
Cannot have a secondary school that doesn't have a play field. Since when we have
Yes. Playroom.
normalized these
Yes.
things.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
something that definitely needs to be addressed. We have young people, they have a lot of energy. You have to give them things to do.
Do.
And they have
Yes.
to be well-rounded students coming out that
Right.
can function in society.
Right. The track and field in the
Yes.
school compound.
And another thing about education is not everybody is good at math, everyone is good at English and all of
Good
those.
point.
I
Good
am not
point.
an English major by choice. that
Okay.
is not
Okay.
that is not my strong point.
Yes.
Right? So I
Yes.
tell people sometimes I'm speaking, I'm like, my subject and verb. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm good with numbers.
Got you.
So we have to recognize the different
Mm-hmm.
areas in which
A
young people are
strength.
strong.
Yes.
Some
Mm-hmm.
students may not be strong, particularly with the academics, but they are strong when it comes to skills,
Yes. Tech
right?
Voc.
Yeah, why
Mm-hmm.
aren't we not seeing the actual investment in making sure that they're developed so that we can harness their potential and
Right.
develop them to a level in which they have their best life accomplished?
Right. Do you recall anything from the manifesto that you're particularly proud of when it comes to education?
One of the things that we have there, and again, going back to the fact that we're looking at a society in which we have a 48% or more persons on the poverty line,
Yes, very
right?
true.
So when you recognize that, you understand that there's a lot of students going to school without a meal. We went heavily in that direction from 2015 to 2020. Right now, one of the manifesto commitments is to have 3 meals in schools,
Yes, I
right?
saw that. Yeah.
Right? You have to have hot meals in schools for
Right.
children.
Yes.
Another thing that we must recognize also is that there are some gaps that was left when it comes to taking care of your children. And one of the things that we will address is making sure that children get a little bit more money.
Yes.
All right, we're going to make sure that the children that were left out, even those children that are 2 years old and so forth, that were
Right.
not catered for,
Right.
they're going to be accounted for. Children that may be on to sixth form and so that were not accounted for
Yes.
with the child's cash grant, those things will be accounted for.
Excellent.
But the overarching thing, we're going to make sure that public servants get more money. Teachers are
Yes.
going to be paid better. We're looking at
Yes.
35% increase.
Wow.
So if you take care of your teachers, you understand once you take care of them, they will be more at ease
Got
to
you.
go forward and do the work to take care of our children, which is the
Right.
future.
Right.
So it goes beyond just a
Okay, goes beyond ability, as she was about to say. All right, Pastor Noel. When it comes to, let's look at our second point in terms of the actual technical and vocational area that I'm familiar with in our country. It was passed through legislation. When it comes to a skills-based knowledge, what are your thoughts on that and what the APNU is bringing to the table?
From what we have learned already from the APNU manifesto, they're prepared to go beyond what was being offered, right? And having the APNU going into office, I know that they're going to make inroads into bringing into the front line the education in the skills-based area. For example, as the Prime Minister candidate said, education is for the ones that are acute in terms of accessing knowledge quickly.
Good point. Good point.
But what about the average, which is the most times you have about 20% out of students in a classroom who are below that apt to access intellectually the knowledge that they're supposed to have when it comes to academics. Well, what you're going to do with the 20% that are not able to acquire that level of education in this classroom?
Right.
There is where the skill-based teachings and making available skills to those people that can fuel the nation to send it forward. Because, to be honest with you, a manager cannot do what a skill man can do.
Sure.
A craftsman cannot. A craftsman can do what the chairman would not be able to do. But the greatest resource is our human resources. And most times we find that that aspect of our society is being left behind. And APNU is centering there, paying attention to bringing those from the background into the front line, because we are a developing nation. And a developing nation needs skills, hands-on knowledge, knowledge where you can create, formulate, and manifest from what you have within. All right?
You know, um, the, I love what you said there about the fact that managers may not be able to do what the skilled labor can do. And from in my view, for too long, our education system, or rather society, has placed more value on the accountants and the business managers and the people working in the bank tellers. These persons would have done their business management courses and so on. And we have made individuals who work in the fields, who toil the soil, who are rearing the cows and the goats and the sheep, to feel as though they are of a smaller value, not realizing that if we don't eat, we can't survive. You know, if we are not eating, the manager has to get food. And so he's depending on the rice farmer and the person working the kitchen garden. He's when he goes to the fancy hotel to eat and pays hundreds of thousands of dollars for a steak. You know, it's a man
in the farm.
That's right, the man rearing the cattle. That's who he's depending on. And so we do need a curriculum, and the STEAM, one of the focus of it is that we are placing an emphasis on all of these individuals with these various skills, and not just looking for the individuals who can become the managers, but individuals who can till the soil. And you know, I have felt for a long time that Guyana should follow what Singapore and Japan does. Because in their school, from nursery, by the way, those students, those children, because we don't say students, the children start working with the soil. So in Japan, for example, the meal that you get at lunch comes from the garden that you were working in, right? And until we can get to that point where every person is valued, where every person is treated as important, our society is really going to go nowhere. And education is where we must begin, by putting a value in all of these areas, agriculture, etc.
Excellent points. Before we move to another topic, guys, what about your own skills-based training in your lives? Tell the audience a little bit about that.
In going to school, I went to the Roman Catholic school where I began my education.
Right.
And that's in New Amsterdam. One of the things that we were given, and that is during my years at school, is that you had to do craft. And I could recall Sir Francis saying, a model to build a toothbrush rock. That thing left in my mind. He repeated. He emphasized on it, and that left in our psyche. Physically, he emphasized what is needed to be done to build a toothbrush rock. It's only a few years ago I showed a toothbrush rock.
Wow.
Right? And that is to tell you the value that I placed on bringing forth that toothbrush rock of myself through the teacher. Skill base is very, very important in school life. Because as you have the theoretical, you need to have the practical. Because if you go back in history, you realize most of the people are hands-on learners. And that is why some people have a mental blockage. If you go into sociology, you'll understand why that is so. But there's a mental blockage in many people's minds, so they can't get past from writing to doing, and some can't get past from doing to writing. So therefore, you have to bridge that gap by giving them hands-on skill to unravel the mind and the body to coordinate itself to produce.
Beautiful point. Your experiences, Trevon?
Well, I can't say that I had much with school, because once I would have left primary school, my parents sent me to a private secondary school that did only business subjects. So we did 6 subjects alone. But all that I have in terms of skill was either taught to me by the church that I attended or my parents, because my father is a very industrious person. So when he's home, he's always fixing something.
Like many people,
We don't have to call anybody to fix the chair, fix the bed. He can make a bed. As a matter of fact, he made a bed all by himself. So, you know, I had all this example. And my father was in the military. So he had all of these skills that he demonstrated to us And there are those of my two older brothers, they're far more skilled than I am.
Right.
I got more skilled with the computer
Okay.
because just as we were in secondary school, myself and my sister,
Mhm.
he bought a computer for us, and that's where I spent most of my time and developed my skills there. But I had a little garden. I recall that much
Mhm.
being in primary school,
Yes.
where I would plant my callaloo. That's what I started planting first.
Agricultural.
That's right, my
Yes.
callaloo, and then
Mhm.
my mom reared chickens, poultry,
Okay.
and so I worked with her there too. So that's the education that I received. It was from my home and from the church that gave us the opportunities to be involved in these things.
It's amazing that he said about the agriculture.
Agriculture, right,
Because
right.
my mother
Mhm.
was chief cook and bottle washer when it comes to
Okay.
planting. And she
Okay.
made 11 of us, of which I am a twin. And I
Yes.
have triplet sisters.
Wow.
So when she dished out the food, you see 11 plates around, and then my
Wow.
mother and father make 13.
Wow.
Okay.
That woman was skilled.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I have learned from her farming and from my father. He was trained by the British
Okay.
in repairing watches,
Mhm.
Okay.
washing machine.
Wow.
He was a guitarist.
Wow.
He was
Look at all those skills.
So
Yes.
I learned from him.
Mhm.
But one of the things when I asked him, Dad, how come this radio works? Who's speaking from the radio? He says it's two little men. And that was a mistake he made. Because when he left for work, I went under the bed with the radio because I wanted these two little friends. Because I remember the elves and them who was
Right.
come and clean up the house
Right,
at Christmas
right,
time. So I
right.
wanted to befriend them. So I went and I loosed up the radio to
To
find these
see
guys.
them.
And I never found them.
That's interesting, Pastor Noel.
Yeah.
Viewers, what about you? What skills? Put in the chat for us. What skills did you learn? Maybe you're watching from the United States or Canada or the UK or beyond. You know, what are those skills-based training that you got? Just drop it in the chat. Let's see your emojis, right? I want to ensure that you get from this show facts about the APNU, its manifesto, but from a theological perspective, because I know God is a God of order.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
God is a God of abundance, green, right?
Mhm.
And God is a God that wants civil government,
Mhm.
right? So, guys, now we're going to go on to our second and final topic in terms of job creation. And let's hear from our prime ministerial candidate again in terms of her thoughts on job creation. And then we'll come back and talk again.
Sure.
All right.
Tell us a little bit about job creation and some of your thoughts there.
Well, Guyana, sometimes I say Guyana is like a blank slate. We have so many things that are not here, so many things that needs to be done. So there is a wide scope of areas in which we can develop for young
Got
people
you. Got
and
you.
persons that are already out there in the working world.
Yes.
But when it comes to job creation, you have to play an active role as government in
Yes.
creating the opportunities
Yes.
for
Mhm.
persons to actually
Mhm.
benefit from.
Yes.
We have got some major projects that is slated in the manifesto. One of
Yes.
those things we're talking about
Mhm.
having major highways built
Mhm,
connecting the
mhm,
coastline to the
mhm,
hinterland.
mhm.
Those projects will be asking for tremendous labor force
Yes.
activities.
Yes.
So that is job creation by itself.
Right.
One of the things we're talking about also is building tens of thousands of homes to make
Right.
sure that persons are accommodated on that level through the
Right.
rent to own policy.
Nice.
And a lot of times I saw some persons saying online, how does that differ when it comes to the banking system and so
Right.
forth, right?
Mhm.
But if you go to a commercial bank and so, you would see that there's a lot more red tapes in order for you to get to that point. When government is taking the opportunity to make sure that they remove all of those red tapes to
Right.
give you the opportunity as an ordinary Guyanese,
Right.
particularly persons that it's in the when we talk about the private sector,
Mhm.
you have a formal and informal section,
Yes.
right? The informal sector, you will have persons like a lot of times will be catered for like the taxi drivers and so forth, and
Yes.
persons that's on the hustle, on the
Yes.
grind every
Yes.
day.
Yes.
Those persons are not particularly catered for when it comes to going into a financial institution and checking off all those boxes in order for you to get a mortgage.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
when we design policies that will be catering for those people, we will make sure it is easier.
Okay.
Not just it is easier,
Okay.
but the government is not going to be profit motivated.
Yes.
It is in order to create policies that is going to benefit the people. So what we're looking for is for our impact to be felt. The outcome of it is a real benefit
Good
and not a
point.
profit.
Good point.
So because of that, we'll be looking at minimum payments per month,
Okay.
something that's going to suit everybody's pocket that you can
Yes.
handle
Yes.
and still live a comfortable life. But with that, I'm tying it into the job creation, because in order to build tens of thousands of homes, we will be creating tens of thousands of jobs, right? And you're talking about jobs in all areas. You're talking about electricians, plumbers, masons, carpenters, engineers, everything that you can think
Everything.
about.
Right.
So you're putting the workforce out there. But again, it ties into education. This is why a whole of governance approach
Yes.
is so necessary.
Right.
Because we have to work with the university to make sure that they are producing job ready
Right.
students into the
Right.
world today. So all of those things taken in consideration, we are
Excellent, excellent. What great points from our prime ministerial candidate. Thank you, viewers. I'm looking at your comments. Akila especially said we are having such an informative program. Jewel is saying you learned so many different skills from your parents, just like Travon. Thank you so much for these comments. You know, I want facts to be your friends, right? Facts are your friends, and you're going to get facts here every Monday until this campaign season ends. But we want you to focus on the facts, and we want you to focus on issues, and we also want you to focus on truth. That is especially for our first-time voters and also those who are perhaps undecided. How can you be undecided, Trevon? We are giving all this information to you. So, job creation, guys, this is a big area for our voters. You know, when it comes to employment or unemployment, our I believe the prime ministerial candidate, and that is a statistic, I believe, out of the World Bank, that about 48 to 50% of the society is living below the poverty line.
Yes.
So when it comes to jobs, God wants us to have jobs, doesn't he?
He does. He does.
He wants us to work and work with our hands, right? Paul in the New Testament did, right? I think he was a tent maker. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but he was employed. So when it comes to job creation, Travon, what are your thoughts in terms of the areas we are talking about tonight?
Let me start. I want to start with Ecclesiastes 3:13.
Good.
It says that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor.
Excellent.
It is a gift of God.
Excellent.
Now, we have people in Guyana who are working very hard. We can't run away from that.
Right.
But the system has been organized in such a way that the people who are doing the work are not the ones who are reaping the benefits of their sweat and their labor day after day. Imagine nurses are getting up in the wee hours of the morning,
teachers,
just to go to a hospital. And it's not just because it's their job, but they got into it because they loved it. They wanted to take care of people. But when they get there, they don't feel valued. Teachers go to school, they get there early, they leave at the end of the day, and they feel as though they're a part of a system that does not see them. And this is what the APNU is trying to change totally. We want individuals to feel as though when they do the work, they are valued.
Yes.
That's the reason why we said that we are going to give as much as 35% increase on the salaries.
Good.
But the thing here as well is that what we find happening now is a government trying to play around with the figures of unemployment that has created part-time employment.
Oh, come on.
So 10-day workers, we shouldn't call it part-time. I don't want to call it part-time. 10-day workers pay you $40,000 a month, no benefits, no NIS. You don't pay tax. You're not registered for tax, so you can't benefit from the mortgage interest relief.
Right.
that is being given to individuals
Yeah.
who are paying returning tax
But
to the
let's
government.
but hear this, Trevon.
Mhm.
If you're getting 40,000 for 10 days,
Mhm.
how long is that gonna last in this society?
10
Tell me.
days. It's not going to last very long.
Right.
Listen, I understand why some people don't shop somewhere. I went to Massey the other day
Okay.
because it was late in the night and my wife said we needed groceries. We had to
Right.
buy some greens. And
Right.
when I got out, I bought Karila, I had some lettuce, some tomatoes, and Bora. I don't know why I bought Bora there. But
Right.
when I was done, I spent $20,000 on
Wow.
stuff that should have cost me $5,000.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
And so the entire situation in this country is geared towards keeping the rich wealthy and the poor breaking them down,
Yeah.
keeping them in
Is
poverty.
that what God wants?
Absolutely
Absolutely
not.
not.
And based on the text that we read, that we
Yes.
should enjoy the good of all of
The
our
land,
labor.
yes,
This is
and the
not
land,
happening.
yeah, the
The
labor.
situation that we have is against what God has designed life to be like.
Right. Right. Yes.
Okay.
Pastor Noah, what are your thoughts?
My thought is based on the Constitution
Mhm.
or the mandate that was given to us,
Yes.
which is the Bible.
Right.
It's basically a constitution.
Mhm.
It's basic instructions before
covenant.
leaving earth.
Yes.
Right? That's what
Mhm.
Bible
Right.
I would intimate at this
Right.
stage.
Mhm.
And it tells us that when Christ was on earth, he was always with the poor, and he said that the poor would always be with you.
With you. Mhm.
Why he said that? A lot of people looking at the poor people got to be poor. No, he wasn't intimating that.
Right.
You don't have to be poor.
Right.
There's enough for everybody. And that is why Christ taught equity. If you read the scriptures carefully, you'll understand equity.
Yes.
It means a level playing field for
Right.
everyone to have.
Right.
Mhm.
But people are bent on being masters, like the scribes and the Pharisees.
Mhm. Mhm.
They love to dress and take up the position in high, lofty offices. But Jesus indicated to us that we must not take those seats unless we are called to those seats. Right? And in that way, we will remain humble. He says you must learn to wash the feet of each other.
Okay.
In other words, you must be humble enough to see a brother as a brother
Yes.
and care and nurture and
Yes.
give that person what
Coach
he
and
needed.
mentor.
Mhm.
Hear what he said also.
Mhm.
He says, when I was hungry,
Mm.
you didn't feed me.
Right.
When I was thirsty, when I was naked,
Mhm.
you didn't clothe me.
Come on now.
Depart from me.
Yes.
And what he called them, worker of iniquity. That is across the board. Many people believe because they are not Christians
Yes.
that they don't have no business dealing with that.
Mhm.
But the word of God is for the entire earth.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's a guiding principle. And if you check in all religions, there's fragmented or even more than fragmented truth that knits every religion together. There's over 2,000 religions in the world.
Right.
Mhm.
But
You
the
can
bottom
imagine that.
line, you're right. But the bottom line is we want people working.
Well, there's
We
where we
want
come
people
to. Yes.
working. Right. So to the point of Trevon earlier, if you look at these points, we want full employment rather than part-time
Part-time
employees.
Mhm.
And the UG and Technical Institute, they must be demand driven. I encourage you to take a look at the manifesto that I believe is coming out very soon. That would be online. And also, we want to increase human resources of the public sector as well as the private sector. I'm glad to see some comments whereby females in this society, someone just indicated that her sister is a welder. Would you believe that, guys?
Yes.
Her
Yeah.
sister is a welder, and you
Skill.
see them in carpentry these days. You see women as electrical engineers these days. So we want to encourage more of that.
Yeah.
So in terms of the job creation, we're looking not only of the public sector, like you mentioned, the teachers and the nurses, the policemen and government employees, but those in the private sector. We'll take just a little bit more of that conversation about job creation with our prime ministerial candidate, and we'll come right back to you.
Definitely going to be on our way to seeing a Guyana that is going to benefit all Guyanese.
Right. While staying very people-centered.
It's always going to be people-centered. There is no policy that we have looked at that does not put people first. Everything that we've been looking at puts people first. And I tell people that it didn't start today.
Mm-hmm.
It started way back from 2020. You know, talking to persons, you're at the markets, having a conversation, and
Right.
listening to the challenges that they're facing,
Yes.
and then coming back to the table to craft the
Yes.
policies
Yes.
that is going to remedy those issues in society.
Wow. Excellent. Excellent.
So much. Did you learn a lot from our prime ministerial candidate?
She has expressed a lot of the views of the manifesto and much of what we are aiming for.
Yes.
You know, one of the things you I have heard our leaders said, our presidential candidate, Mr. Aubrey Norton, say along the campaign trail
Yes.
is the idea that we are building an economy, a society where every person can find valuable work.
Yes.
And so,
Value
whether
of
we are
work.
talking about our rent own home program,
Yes.
where we are going to need builders,
Yes.
we're going to need persons skilled in masonry,
Right.
we're going to need carpenters, we're going to
Right.
need electricians.
Yeah.
There's maybe some people who are going to want to run air conditioning in their homes.
Right.
We're going to need individuals
Right.
skilled there.
Right.
You know,
Right.
somebody may want to have a skilled person locally build their bed for them or
Right.
their cabinet.
Right.
We're going to need individuals who are skilled in this way. And so, understanding the country that we are building, we have to start training people to
Right.
meet the demand of the society.
Correct.
You know, we have this gold program that the current administration would have put out.
Yes. Yes, we do.
And so everybody's being trained in something that is geared towards a society that is not our reality.
Okay.
And so we are not training individuals in what we need. There is not only the public sector, sorry, that needs engineers.
Right.
The private sector needs too.
too, yeah.
Those firms that are involved in contracts, they need engineers, but they can't
Right.
find
Right.
good engineers. So they are reliant on the government engineers. And those are some of the areas that we really, really need to work in. And what the APNU is proposing is that having a full understanding of what the economy requires, we will develop our programs to ensure the University of Guyana, the technical institutes, the private institutions that are operating in Guyana as well, work together so that we have all the skills necessary to build a Guyana where every citizen feels like a first-class citizen,
So
where every
true.
citizen is put first.
So true, Travon. And you raise a very, very important point. You cannot just have, let's say, empty land, and we want to put up 6 buildings, and we just rush in to put up 6 buildings for schools, right? Or for whatever the purpose is. You need something called a needs analysis.
Of course.
You need gap assessments, right? So that's what you're basically describing a minute ago, where there is a disconnect between what you're training for and what you actually need, right? You know, it's supply and demand, right? So we have to look at that carefully.
Absolutely.
And that is what the APNU is about, will embark on doing. Pastor Noel, in terms of your thoughts based on what Travon has said.
Well, in marketing, right?
That you know so well.
Yes.
Okay.
In marketing, I did marketing too.
Yes.
And in marketing, you have to understand and make a study of the demographics and the needs and wants of a society or community.
Right.
Right. Having developed or established that need and want, you can then provide the very thing that is needful for the society or for the community as a whole. You have to also understand the strategies to implement that. And there is where we're lacking as a nation. We're not developing enough strategies to bring the needs of the people to the forefront.
Yes.
We need to bring the needs of the people. We must not be guessing
Okay.
and just putting things or throwing things at people
Yeah.
as if it's handouts. People don't need handouts.
Good
You
point.
would not get the best results from a person if they do not have the inherent skills required.
That's right.
So we need to develop that inherent skills. Some people are born with an ability to do something, but because they're marginalized, it cannot manifest because we're not nurturing and bringing out. So if we can nurture and bring out those skills from the person by showing them what we have and by making a study through demographics, only then that we can reach the entire society.
Right. Good point. Very, very good point here tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Somebody is saying, that's my son, Chichester. So thank you so much for being here. Time goes so fast. We have 15 minutes to program time. I'm going to take my slide number 3 now so that I get the audience here all revved up, especially that first-time voter.
Of course.
You're voting for the first time. This is a program for you whereby you will get the issues in a godly way, right? And you will hear it directly from our pastors and church leaders. Every Monday, we want you to pray. We want you to lift up a national day of prayer all over Guyana, into the diaspora as well. Make it a national day, 6 to 6. Give to this campaign. This campaign, Trevon, is all over the country.
Yes, it is.
All over the country. So we want you to give. Go to the APNU website and you give. Volunteer as well. You can give us a call here at the APNU headquarters. You'll see those numbers on our website, and you will be able to give to our cause here. Check the APNU website periodically, right? Look and see what we are doing on social media. So we are out there almost every night. We were in Friendship campaigning. Read the manifesto, and of course, guys, go vote.
Of course.
Cast your vote. Cast your vote. So let's see if we have any questions from our audience. We are having many comments on tonight. So we appreciate you tuning in here every Monday night from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Guys, as we come down to program time, what in terms of those voters out there and the importance of voting, right? What would you say to people who are watching, right? And they are undecided about their vote. What is it that we should be telling them? What is it that they should know about the APNU? What do you have to say, Pastor Noel?
First of all, if you're undecided, then you'll be left in the middle of the sea.
Okay.
You cannot be in life and be undecided. You have to make a choice. You're either on the right-hand side or you're on the left-hand side. Moses called to the children of Israel and asked them, which side are you on?
Right.
You have to be on the side that makes sense.
Yes.
First of all, I think the APNU is offering a platform through the manifesto that we can correct the ills in our society or that which is missing in our society,
right,
to bring about a holistic development of the most important resources we have, and that is the human resource.
Yes.
And once we understand that the human resource is the most important resource that we have, therefore we will treat it as such. And the APNU is a people-centered party.
Right. And I love what someone just said. Deborah just said her vote is secured.
All right.
I want to know that people, and I have some homework for you guys tonight, right? And you have all week to get it done. I need you to, like Deborah said, I need you, whether you're in the diaspora, I know you got big family back here in Guyana. So I want you to get at least 5 persons and do what Deborah just said. Ensure that their vote is assured. And how are we voting?
Are we voting for the palm?
Yes, we
Oh,
are.
yeah.
So then the
Sure.
palm,
Yeah, we're voting for the PAM.
we voting for the palm.
The
right?
power to do.
Yes, you look for the palm. So yes, Trevon, in these few minutes, what would you encourage, especially young men who might be undecided? They're shopping around. What would you tell them?
Well, they certainly by example. So I recognize that it was my mom who did say that's my son. Hi,
Okay.
Mom. And on Jennifer, I saw her message earlier too. Hey, what I remember hearing this saying a little while ago.
Yes.
There's a special place in hell reserved for those who, in times of crisis, decided to sit on the fence.
Okay.
And that has been something that has pushed me. I recall as a young man in church hearing that it is God who establishes kingdoms, who puts presidents and kings in place. And what that did at once is it caused some amount of complacency to think that there is nothing that I can do because God has already decided. But then I eventually would learn that God does not leave heaven and come to earth to do what he wants to use us to do. And so when we are in tune with him, then he speaks to us and we make the right decisions. Right? And we can see which party can you tell me is the one that really looks towards improving the life and the growth of individuals. And just in case you are wondering which one, I can help you to identify the ones that aren't.
Come on.
I can tell you, and if you want to think about it, just remember what happened in April. Just remember Region 3. Just remember Adriana Young. You just remember how a government placed its own interest above the interest of a child. A little child, 11-year-old. Jesus said, suffer the little children to come unto me. Children play such a very important role to him. They're so close to his heart. And we see, listen, we didn't have any of these things under the last APNU government. Our children were valued. We provided free transportation. I remember going to Kurupukari. And that thing broke my heart. I went to Kurupukari in 2013. And when I got there to the school is multi-graded, nursery, primary, and secondary, all in one, almost 35 children, one teacher who was pregnant.
Wow.
That's what they had. And the government at the time under Priya Manik Chand had removed the school feeding program.
Wow.
I remember I was going to spend about 2 months there in FM. And I took all the snacks that I had to give to these children. And they started to fight over the snacks. And I literally cried to understand what these children were going through. When we got in, we gave the 5 Bs. We ensured the children were fed in school. And then now we're hearing talks about if certain people were to get back the government, how they're going to give a grant for transportation. And we said, absolutely, that's not going to work. The children must have free transportation every day to school. They must have at least 2 hot meals in school. So for the voter out there who's undecided, the voter out there who's thinking that they're going to sit on the fence, if you aren't sure who you're voting for, I hope you understand now that you have a responsibility to vote for the APNU government. You have a responsibility to vote for Aubrey Norton, Jaretta Finance, and all of us who are candidates for this party, who are very, very serious about moving this country forward, about putting you first. And with your help, we are going to do it. I'm excited for September 1st. I am excited for September 1st.
Fire.
Yeah.
You are on fire. I love that.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Gail. Gail said our entire family is voting for the coalition.
All right.
Yes, Gail.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
Yes, we must fight.
Yes, we must.
For our country. We must pray and we must fight.
Yes.
What does the verse say? Faith without
works is dead.
Is dead, right? So we have had another exciting program. And tune in next week. I want to have the ladies, the female pastors, right, here with me. But thank you, viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have that slide number 4 coming right up. now. And we are thanking, giving some credits to Travon and Philip. And also we have Junior at our console this evening. And persons who helped
Josiah.
Josiah. Sorry, not Junior, Josiah. Sorry. And Cynthia, the APNU coordinator, and Kizzy, who helps with our flyers. So thank you, Travon and Pastor Noel. It was really great to have you here tonight. Sure. Go right ahead.
One more thing I would like to leave. One more thing I'd like to leave with our audience.
Yes, go ahead.
And that is Luke 24:23. Luke 14:23.
Got you.
The Bible says we must go out there and compel.
Nice.
Because the good news, many people might not receive it.
Yes.
But when you impress it upon their minds, and the way to impress it is to compel them.
Yes.
So hence, Luke 14:23. I want to compel you guys
Yes.
to do the right thing,
Come on.
to do the honorable thing,
Yeah.
to emphasize through your vote.
That's
Yes,
right.
Right?
Yes,
This
yes.
is not a time for you to sit on the fence. This is not a time for you to lay back.
Right.
This is your area of work, and the
Right.
work is very easy.
And look what Tanya says. Can't be undecided this time in this election.
That's
Come
right.
on.
That's right.
Come on, yeah.
Cannot be undecided. So my little homework for you is to get busy because we are riled up.
Yeah.
Right? Contact 5 people, ask them if they have their ID cards,
Yeah.
and talk to them about the APNU, what you have learned here today. Facts are your friends.
Correct.
Guys, let's have a great week
Yes.
campaigning.
Yeah.
I know we're in different parts, different regions.
Yeah.
So we are excited to get out there and tell people in their numbers. Have a great night.
Before you go,
Yes, go ahead.
just know, guys. But I had a lecturer who would say, "Don't say guys." Just know, my people. This Saturday we are in New Amsterdam. We are in New Amsterdam.
Region
Yo,
6, we're
all right.
coming.
Yeah, we're bringing the vibe to New Amsterdam.
Yes.
This is your time. This is your time. Come
Yes.
out and join us. Those in the diaspora, join us online. It's going to be big. It's going to be grand. It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
This is our time for
Yes.
victory.
Thank you for that, Trevon. Region 6, New Amsterdam, a time they should be there. And where? Do
Well,
you know?
I think we're starting at 6.
And we start at
somewhere
5,
between
6.
4 and 6, you know? Yes.
4 and 6 p.m.
Yeah.
But check our Facebook page.
Mhm.
You will get details.
Absolutely.
Right? That
Absolutely.
flyer, beautiful flyer, will be up for New Amsterdam coming this weekend.
Mhm.
So have a great night. It's the hand.
It's
right?
the palm
It's
of the hand.
palm, right?
That's right.
Along
Palm it
with-
up.
Along with 6 partners. Actually,
Put it in,
I'm from KLM. Travon is APNU Central, and Pastor Noel is KLM as well.
Yeah.
So we are one of the partners supporting the APNU.
APNU.
All right. Enjoy the music. Oh, beautiful Guyana.
Guyana.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful Guyana, oh, my lovely native land, more dear to me than all the world, thy sea-washed, sun-kissed strand. Or down upon the borders, looking out upon the deep, the great Atlantic blown into a fury, or asleep. At morn, at noon, or better in the crimson sunset's glow.